How you guys doing today?
Hey.
All right. Go ahead, Sal. All right. So we got a couple of table of contents right now. So we want to go ahead and start off with the intro. Go ahead, Sal.
Let's start off with our names.
Well, I'm sorry. My apologies. Sorry, guys. My name is Daphnis. I work with the front end.
My name is Salvatore. General support, front end.
And I am Gabriel. Back end and connecting the front end to back end. And yeah, this is GearUp. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, Dan?
All right. So basically, the whole concept behind GearUp was that we wanted to create a platform where essentially, if you were a newbie to any type of content creation, whether it was film, photography, whatever it was, this site here would actually give you a recommendation as to how you would put together a package to get the actual, to get the desired outcome of whatever project you were shooting, whether it was photography, sports, film, anything. You can see the recommended bundles. We'll go through and you'll see some of the things. Go ahead, Sal. All right.
So let's talk about our individual motivations.
Our motivations. All right, so my motivation was to help content creators master their projects within a reasonable budget.
And so, like, what was your experience in this? Like, how do you put yourself into here, and what experiences did you try to put into this?
Well, one of the things I noticed was because, for one, I felt like just even knowing certain information, like what you would actually need, like logistically, some of the actual, equipment that you need to get a project together, I realized that a lot of people didn't know. You need film. You need lighting. You need sound. You need the right type of, whether it was 4K or HD, whatever it was, you need everything, literally, in order to get the right type of project together. So I felt like putting that together was something that was key for people to see for someone just breaking into the industry.
How about you, Sal?
Go ahead, Sal.
So working with this type of equipment and coming in through this industry, I wish I knew this type of information in the beginning. So I want to provide it to other people.
For me, I always had a problem with starting projects, doing projects. In Miami, it's hard to meet up with people sometimes, and a lot of the time you have to do things by yourself. But when it comes to you had to spend a lot of money, a lot of trial and error for any different hobby you might have, and you're always not sure about what you want to do. This site allows you to do many things, from going to the project instead of going to the product, but we're about to get into that a little bit. But mostly it's so that the inhibition between thoughts and action just becomes a little bit smaller. Yeah.
Okay. So the numbers: 1.92 billion people will buy something online in 2019. That comes from Hosting Facts. Literally, imagine everybody use some type of e-commerce platform currently right now. Everything has been digitalized. 87% of shoppers today use commerce reviews to decide whether to buy something or not. 77% of those shoppers do purchase online from an actual in-person transaction.
Because nowadays, what we have now is
the fact that when you go online, even if you're at the supermarket, since everyone has their phone, you can always bring up your phone, and no matter what, a lot of the time, especially when you're into a niche market, say like for rigs on a camera or a stand or any different thing, if you're not in the main brands, you have no idea, because there's so few little ratings, you have no idea what you're doing. So reviews in this case helps a newbie or even a knowledge individual to go on with this place. So why don't you tell us about the last?
All right, so you're more likely to spend your money on unplanned splurges as to your shopping trip progress from Journal Marketing 2015. Go ahead, Sal.
Which is why we will have the bundle system.
So now, a nice quote. I really like this quote here. We generate fears while we sit. We overcome them by action. Which I feel like, a lot of times when you sit there and you're thinking about a certain thing, you get overwhelmed with thoughts. A lot of times these thoughts are not even your own thoughts. These are just foreign thoughts that just invade your brain and literally kind of put you into a box where you feel intimidated. However, the minute you decide to stand up and say, you know what, I want to go ahead and start to do something, every little step, every little action is overcoming that fear. Go ahead, Sal. All right, so the current market right now. We have purchase focused, item based, best deal showcased. For the future market, we're looking more so for it's going to be project focused, bundle based, relevant bundle showcase. Now, currently, when they say purchase focused, so essentially right now, you're looking for a particular bundle. You go on there and you will see based on whatever budget, whether it's a low budget, whether you have a somewhat of a mid-range budget or a high budget, you'll see the different recommendations. And you'll even see the different items. We have them itemized as well too, where you could purchase those individually. And the best packages will be showcased ultimately on the site as well. Now, for the future, we know that the site itself has to have a path of evolution. And so therefore, you'll see certain projects will start to customize bundles for certain projects. So let's say if you wanted to put together a football game or you wanted to do a basketball game, something like that requires a certain type of lighting, a certain type of equipment, and therefore we'd have those bundles already prepared so that anybody wanting to do something like that would have an idea of what to do. Now, bundle based is always going to be something that's going to be relevant on the site. It's never going to disappear because a lot of people don't realize how much equipment you need to put something together. And also, too, relevant bundles. You have generic projects, I should say, that anybody and everybody, weddings, these things happen every day, graduations. So these type of bundles will always be there because they're never going anywhere. All right. So now, as you can see here on the site itself is pretty much broken up into two pieces. As you can see here, you have photo, you have video. Now you have the specs, which is basically informative information about the actual subject material. And then you have the bundles, which would actually be here below. And you'd actually see the different equipment. I know it's a little bit short, but you can see like Canon, whatever different type of equipment would be recommended in that bundle would actually appear right here. Now we're going to actually present you guys the demo, kind of show you a little bit of functionality of the site itself.
So here's the website. Here's the website, GearUp. So for functionality's sake, not everything has been implemented that we wanted, but the backend has been fully made. So for right now, for demonstration purposes, I'm here to present what is capable with this website. Here we have the home page. In the future, we plan to do a search function that will happen to use the Amazon B&H Photo API. But before talking about what we're going to do in the future, let's show you what we can do now. So the main purpose the main category after the search one will be the categories. This is going to represent what type you want to do. So here you have fashion, wedding, makeup, all these different types. This is what we mean by project-based. You don't go just based off of, we're not just going to sell you a camera. We're not just going to sell you what's the hottest thing. We're going to sell you something based on what you actually need. So let's go to one, let's say, for here, the wedding. Here, where the wedding should be, we have the specs right here. So we have four different ones. Let's click on one. And while, no, nothing. Here, where we would have a spec page where it would give you certain information of how to understand f-stop, or how camera would work, or how to even be in the situation. Like if we go back to the article, like, see everything, live broadcast, clean, simple image. So it goes into the specs, but it also goes into the human element, so you know what to plan for. And in order to go to the budgets, we have low budget, mid-budget, okay, and high budget. We'll say low budget right now. And here we have, what we plan to do is we have to have titles that are relatable. Like I got my nephew to do it. type bundle or a quick Nikon replacement. Say you just lost your Nikon and you need to take a quick shoot as a replacement. It shows you all the different little tagline to go with it, a little description, and links to every affiliate. So this one, say, goes to Amazon, and you can see all the specs for yourself on that website. So then we can just add these both to our cart. Now let's go into our cart. So now we have a cart. So again, it shows us what we have, and it prices it up. And here is where we would enter our credit card, but I do not know the API for that or the system to go for that. So I made it so we purchased. So it would be congratulations on your 2 purchases. And that would be the functionality of the site so far. So back to here. So why don't you talk about your challenges on the front end?
Well, on the front end, some of the challenges, I mean, there are a lot of challenges. I would say, for one, there's a lot of different components that we have on the site, like especially with like the different images, the cards, also to just being able to have it to link to the appropriate, I would say link to the actual appropriate information on the back end, like with the articles and things of that sort. So that was somewhat rather difficult, I'd actually say. But we worked on it. Ultimately, Gabe was able to do some good work too, to bring some things in. Shouts out to Gabe. But yeah, that's from my perspective. That's kind of some of the things. Not sad.
Challenge is always collaborating on the platform, and just like you said, linking everything, testing, and that's my end.
So I think mine was 2. For the back end, it had to be, all my cohorts kind of know this, it's kind of like the whole system of trying to insert something from the front end and then making sure that it goes through like the streamline of different providers, different modules, different all this. Then you go to the back end in the store, and then it comes back to there. And there's this like whole type of process that I still feel like I need to master, that we all kind of need to master if we're gonna get the grasp of it. And the second one's a little bit more universal that everyone understand. We're told to do this incremental approach, and to me, this is still fairly new, because in college, what we usually did is we usually just didn't give our homework half completed and then just kept improving projects, different things like that. In code, we can do incremental projects, but in our heads, unfortunately, I'm trying to do all the different things at once without trying to just like steadily build up, and it's like trying to know that I can just keep trying building up instead of just building all the different parts at once, hoping that it's going to start in one physical thing. So yeah. And then future features.
All right. So future features. All right. So part of the evolution of the website, we're going to allow for user-created bundles. So essentially, a user would be able to go in and create their own customized bundle depending on what project that they're going for. Another thing too is user reviews. User reviews are important because, like we said, 77% of people actually make their decisions on purchases on their user reviews. Being able to add and remove items from a bundle, a particular bundle, anything, if you wanted to customize a little bit, you would have the opportunity to do so. Being able to incorporate with other multiple vendors such as B&H Photo and DJI. Keep saying G. But, and also too, to be able to share the bundles outside of the website. All right.
I mentioned this before. Let's see. So the idea is that it will come with a tagline, a story, and microphone.
Oh, my bad.
Now, I mentioned this before, but I'll just make it clear again. Because a lot of camera can be, a lot of it is top tier or a lot of it is niche, but still very usable. we would always want a sort of story or tagline to go with it, so that it's just not just, it's there, but you have, and it might have like 4 stars by like 3 people, but you have absolutely no idea what it can actually do. So there's some kind of quality testing, even if it's just by the user that's posting the bundle. And other than that, I did the back end, Daph and Sal both did the front end, and we use the programming languages of HTML, Bootstrap, we used CSS as well, JavaScript and JS React in order to build the website, all the different pages. We used Python and Flask SQLite in order to make the back end. And we'd like to thank 4Geeks, Nacho Man, where is he? Oh, he's gone. Okay, bye. We like to thank Nacho.